I could get you a tattoo machine and we could get you to do a halfway decent tattoo in a couple of months. And most people don't know the difference. So you'll be all right. You'll pay your rent.
Do you have to be an artist to be a tattooer?
No.
Let's move on.
I think you should be.
Yeah,
You know, for the longevity, you better have an artist eye.
I would say yes, but also yes. Okay, let's say yes.
Not necessarily.
This is where we disagree.
Do you have to be an artist to be a good tattoo artist? Yeah. Do you have to be an artist to be a tattoo artist? No.
I mean, there's pictures of shitty tattoos all over the internet. Clearly, you don't need to be an artist to be a tattoo artist.
I mean, that's like saying, you know, do you have to have talent to be a singer? No, anyone could sing, right?
I can't sing.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
Really?
no. We know people that are not like,
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they deserve it.
but they're just asking.
Because every client is like, oh, I wish I could tattoo. And I'm like, oh yeah? And they're like, yeah, but I can't draw. And I'm like, so what? You know how many people I know that can't draw that are making money tattooing? It's called f***ing Photoshop. It's called, what's the other one?
Procreate?
Procreate, yeah. Take a course in Procreate, learn filters, get Instagram. There you go.
There are a lot of people who treat it more like a technical thing where you are brought a design and then you hit print. I don't think anything's necessarily wrong with that.
You know, we were talking about blackwork tattoos earlier. Like, there's a spectrum. Like, I think the kind of tattoos that we do, that I do, like, it definitely helps. But, you know, there are styles that are really just technique-based, where you're just like a craftsman.
What we do is the watercolor is more like not so much technique or more creativity, you know, with freestyle or like freehand. And then the other side is like the realistic tattoo artists with like more like, you know, technique and graphic design.
There is a tattooist and there's a tattoo artist. A tattooist is a person that is equally respectable. I've gone to many tattooists, which they don't draw, but they have extremely good line work skill, and I can go and I'm like, I want this text on me, and they will copy that 100% perfectly. And there's people that do the most beautiful watercolor tattoos, and they're artists and they draw their thing, but they could not stick to that same line work and just copy each letter perfectly. Right, so we need both kind of people.
So I've been tattooing for about 20 years. So when I started tattooing, most tattoo artists weren't artists per se. They were just people who, for whatever reason, decided to pick up tattooing. A lot of tattooing was copying. It was recreating flash pieces, so you didn't necessarily need to be an artist, you just needed to be able to trace things to tattoo. These days, it's a lot harder to be a tattoo artist without being an artist because there's so many of us now. You know, before, back in the day, you would basically get tattooed by whoever was the artist in your town. You didn't even know about other artists, but with the internet, you know, and tattooing is so popular, the industry is booming. I definitely think you don't have to be an artist, but you're gonna have a hell of a lot of competition, so it's gonna be pretty hard for you if you're not.
People think that artists are just good from the start, but that's never the case. I mean, some people get luckier than others, but most of the time that's just the work put into it. So a lot of people have been making art since they were 3, 4, 5 years old, and that's all going to affect your tattooing. So some people that start at, was it Bob Tyrell started at 40, something like that? And I don't know if he was making art before that, but it's just, again, if you want it and you put in the work, then I don't see why you can't tattoo.
Because fun fact, she was an accountant before.
I was not an artist, I was an accountant. I was never good with numbers. So,
Wait, what?
Like, it's time for me just to change my career, period.
Wait, why did you choose it?
What?
Why did you choose it then?
I don't know, I was like 19. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be an accountant. Because like, I always got in trouble at work. People were like, oh, you got all these numbers wrong. Why are you always like the first one to leave, the last one to come?
And always
like,
sleeping.
I hate my job. So
yeah.
It's time for me to find something I enjoy, and I found tattooing and never looked back.
I used to be a dancer, and I love music and I love to feel. And so I would just like move, and like it just felt amazing to me. But I really don't like being told what to do as well. And in that industry, like you really have to, for the most part, follow other people's visions. I think that that's kind of where like my limit was reached. Like I felt like my artistry was kind of like, I don't know, not able to flow. And that's why I love tattooing, because I feel like I really can just be me and do what I want, and nobody's gonna tell me what to do. And there are always gonna be the clients who wanna come to me and like get my work, and I just feel like I can evolve however I want and feel.
I feel like I really struggle with the term of artist for a long time, for years, because my very first mentor, he was really strict about like, you're not an artist, this is just job, blah, blah, blah. Like he was like, everything you do is shit, everything you do can be irreplaceable and blah, blah, blah. So it took me a lot of years to realize that I'm an artist. I feel weird even saying that because I didn't used to, and I used to feel like completely the opposite direction. Like, oh, if you call yourself an artist, you're a freak. And now I call myself an artist, but just because I know that I am, that's the way I am, that's the way I live, that's what I put in my tattoos. So if you ask me, that's a very important part of tattooing, which is being an artist, which is living for art, living for that.
In general, I think tattooing as a whole maybe puts a little too much emphasis on the technical elements. Like, and I'm saying that as somebody who's like done it for a long time. Like, if your line work is the cleanest line work ever, but your designs aren't interesting, it's like, it almost feels like a wasted set of skills. I would rather have a crazy design and a really mediocre execution.
You know, with all these new generations being better and better and better, you know, like in the 90s, in the early 2000s, you could survive just tracing tattoos. Now, dude, like these kids they go to school, they're so good.
3 years in, they're just
I don't think
killing it.
you have to, but I feel like if you wanna, you're not gonna thrive.
I feel like you need that artistry because like I just found out yesterday that she always wanted to be a fashion designer. So I think you don't need to be necessarily good at art because that can always come later, but you need that like interest and that like passion.
That passion for art, yeah.
I mean, there's levels, you know? So to just be a tattoo artist, no, you just need a machine. Mm-hmm. Someone will let you tattoo them.
We be puzzling.
We do puzzle.
We got one that's double-sided, so it's like two puzzles in one. One side is shiny, the other side's matte, so you know which side is which when you're...
We had a crazy night.
And the key is to organize the pieces first by color and edge. Then you get going.
Yeah.
You sound like an expert
on
this topic.
We've put some puzzles together. We've done some puzzling.
We fucking puzzles up.
We puzzle.
Okay.